from the official GonnaGeek.com show, a weekly geek news podcast that is a part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other awesome geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Chris Can't Get His Computer to Work Properly Yet Again, the show, episode 388 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. For those that are more technically inclined, I don't know what was wrong with OBS, and I didn't have time to troubleshoot it this morning, but it probably needs a full restart and then reinstall. And as slow as my computer's running right now, that'll take me probably about 20 minutes to do. So instead of delaying even further, it was, F it, we're going to start the show. Because we're here for you.
If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, looks like a duck, it's ATGN technical difficulties. Welcome to the StreamYard.
He's not wrong. Luckily, I know SP has used StreamYard, this tool that we are using for Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. before, so I had at least a passing familiarity with it.
Willie looks like he's lost.
What's wrong, Willie?
He's looking around. He's looking for the yard.
What's wrong?
What is this place?
It's the devil.
It's where the ducks go to talk on, because they can't use Hangouts because they don't have thumbs.
Right.
It's like things are slightly off and a bit more.
Everything's a bit to the left. It's confusing.
No, even worse.
Sorry, what? I went to the left.
Because you ain't right, boy.
There you go.
Now, evidently, there are fancy buttons for us to move things around, I'm learning here. We can go from the tri-screen to smaller tri-screens where it's just our faces, to then offset tri-screens, and then the screen share with one of our faces. It's fancy times here on the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. I can't do those things on OBS yet. I haven't learned.
This is, of course, for the audio listeners. That was perfect.
Yep.
It's true. If you're an audio listener, we encourage you, go to youtube.com/GonnaGeek. You can click on episode 388, and you can see what I was talking about. It's within the first 2.5 minutes of the show as Chris screws around and tries not to break everything.
Or,
Episode.
don't listen to Chris. Just listen to audio. You're good. I'm not going to twist your arm about it.
But then they'll miss the three-headed dog.
One of those heads is mine, so you're not missing much.
We're a Cerberus? Is that what we're saying
Yep,
here?
we're a service.
Like I told you, off. So today's Monday.
Yeah.
Monday, it's a holiday. We normally do this thing on Sunday, but you guys were gracious enough to accommodate my schedule being all out of whack on this previous Sunday.
All right, so that's what was going on. I forget things.
Yep.
Why are we doing this on a Monday? Why am I awake? I should be.
Because it's Happy Racist as Hell Idaho Day.
It's
racist as hell, Idaho.
Yeah. You guys are celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Day, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have that in Idaho because our politicians are way too fucking racist. So we have Idaho Human Rights Day because they can't have a black guy's name on our calendars. Yeah, Idaho's still just that fucking racist.
So that's what banks are celebrating and being closed for?
Mm-hmm.
Banks.
Yeah, today's supposed to be, outside of racist states like Idaho, it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
You would think that a southern state would do that, but here I am in my southern state celebrating MLK Jr. Day. So,
Willie, did you realize it was MLK Day today when you got up?
Well, yeah, because you said we were going to do the podcast today, and that was the whole reason of doing that. I forgot what?
The reason we were doing the podcast. Okay, never mind. I assumed that your poor memory was coming in.
That was for a segue for you to jump in and like explain a little bit more, man. I got my little tips and tricks that I do to get you to talk.
That you do.
They do.
Did you just
don't
try
make fun of the way I talk?
Did you try and woo me like Ric Flair?
No,
he just tried to Scooby-Doo you is what he tried to do.
Scooby-Doo.
All right, now, I mean, if you're trying to force a woo, that ain't going to happen. It's going to just...
Rut-row, Willie. Rut-row.
It's going to be when you least expect it.
You're not going to woo for me, Willie?
Not on
Woo,
command.
Willie, woo.
Not on command.
Dance, monkey, dance.
When will Willie woo? That's the question this week.
There's your
Willie
episode
woo?
title.
Yep.
When
I
will
just
Willie
thought about it as
woo?
You're saying it.
I told you it's slightly off, and then some.
Right.
He ain't wrong.
He ain't right either.
That's
I'm
true.
never right. I've
He ain't-
learned that.
That boy ain't right.
This whole past week, I've learned I'm not right.
Yeah.
We know it's okay. We still think you're one of us, Willie.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Are you people even people?
We're poor
Yeah.
schlubs that live stream stuff on the internet.
I was
So
wondering.
no. No, we're not people.
I was surprised you guys didn't say, "What do you mean, you people?"
What do you
Nope.
mean, you people? Is
We'll
what
let
you
that
want
one
me to
slide
do?
this time.
Podcasters. That's what I meant.
Uh-huh.
There
Bye.
you go.
You
Podcasters
people.
aren't people.
I took the bait for you.
They're just idiots in front of a camera.
I've been called worse. I'll take idiot in front of the camera.
And we'll be sitting right there next to you.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? I got to get going if that's the case.
You don't want
No,
to be an
because
idiot.
you're not an idiot in front of a camera.
No, I'm just a dumbass in front of the camera. There's a distinction.
Oh.
A very, very classical distinction.
What is the distinction, the difference between an idiot and a dumbass in front of a camera? I'm very curious, Willie. So I'm going to put everything over to you to explain this to us.
I may not be smart, but I am pretty. That's the difference. Peace out, everyone. Woo!
Now we know when will Willie woo when he says he's prettier than everyone.
Oh, I guess as long as he thinks he's pretty.
Someone
Alright.
gotta think it.
It ain't hurting me none.
No.
You don't know that yet. Long term, baby.
Oh my.
This is the long con.
Sounds like a threat.
That's on purpose.
I'm scared.
Though since wrestling was brought up, would like to say a big condolences and rest in peace to the Rock's family. Because Rocky Johnson passed away. The Rock's dad died last week.
Oh.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
75.
I mean, I hate to be like this, but I thought he was already passed.
No, his dad was still alive.
Okay, I did not know that. That's news to
Yeah.
me. That's all.
Rocky Johnson, co-holder of the first African-American tag team of professional wrestling, him and Tony Atlas. Rock's dad was like full-on, groundbreaker in the industry of professional wrestling, and apparently whooped his son into shape because The Rock talks about it in the Instagram post he put up. He talks about in his book, like his dad was tough on him. His dad whooped his ass when he trained him for wrestling, but that's why he is the man he is today, is because of the way his dad raised him. So Rocky Johnson did apparently a good job because, as far as I know, there's 8 billion people in the world, and all of them are fans of The Rock. So Rocky Johnson did something right.
Who doesn't like The Rock?
Yeah. So yeah, condolences to the Johnson family and The Rock who lost his dad. That's never any fun.
Well, I mean, I think Vince McMahon might not really be too fond of The Rock currently because he did leave wrestling
Yeah,
but he
well,
still comes back.
and is still a lot more. But I mean, would he not like him there full time?
Well, I think he makes a crap load of money when The Rock comes back to do WrestleManias and things like that.
That's fair, right? That's fair.
Plus, there's the whole crossover appeal. You talk about The Rock, who is a WWE superstar who went Hollywood. They always try and find a way to reference the company. So I don't think Vince is hurting too much there. Vince got enough money; it don't matter.
I was opening up a discussion and you threw it in my face. So,
Well, I think Vince would like it if he just owned every wrestler that ever worked for him and they weren't allowed to make decisions on their own. But that's not the world we live in. And so
including not paying them insurance.
Exactly, including not paying them insurance because they're not allowed to work for anybody else, but they're freelance employees. Fuck you, Titan Sports.
That's why you go work for AEW, where you
Damn
get
right.
benefits. And this week they're doing their live show from Chris Jericho's cruise that they're doing. The Jericho Cruise is hosting a live AEW show on a boat.
They are awesome. And didn't they announce? Isn't TNT? Didn't they announce they picked up a second season?
They picked up another 3 or 4 years. I can't
it was
remember.
multiple years. Okay.
And a second show. So things are looking well for.
A
Tony
second
Khan
show.
and
Okay,
everyone
I
who
got the
runs it.
numbers mixed up.
The question is, they do what they're calling that AEW Dark, which is their show they put on YouTube.
Yeah.
My question is, are they just going to take AEW Dark and use that as a second show on TNT now? I don't know.
Possibly.
what they film before they do the new episodes.
I mean, they have the content. Why not use it?
Mm-hmm.
So back to this whole Jericho cruise ship thing. I'm a little curious. I've
Yes.
never been on a
It's
cruise.
powered by Bubbly.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Never been on a cruise before.
Me neither.
Is there any kind of sway to it? I wonder.
Oh, I've been
how
on
would
like
wrestling-
boats like that. I've gone
Mm.
across the English Channel in a ferry boat before, which is not quite as big, but
As the
Yes.
only sailor here, I've traveled across the ocean on a 300-foot destroyer. Cruise ships are about 10 times that size. If they're in calm seas, you won't feel anything.
All right.
It'll be almost dead straight. It'd be like being on an aircraft carrier.
They'll be
It'll
in
be like
calm
solid
seas.
ground.
but I bet you they try and
Yeah.
play up some gimmick. Oh my God, the boat's rocking or
Yeah.
some nonsense like that.
There'll
Just
be
wait
some
for it.
Dutch angles.
I mean,
Yeah,
I was
wait
just
for
kind
it.
of wondering if someone's going to do a monkey flip, and all of a sudden, oh, there goes Johnny flipping over the ropes like he shouldn't have, and landing in the third row.
And the map and the whole map moves. No, unlikely. Yeah, I mean it's probably a thing where they had to have a contract with the cruise line to where if they're doing an event that's basically a physical sport, they're not. I'm gonna guess that they'd not be allowed to do it if there was any type of weather warning or high seas that would make the ship move, because then the cruise line couldn't guarantee the safety of the wrestlers, and so then that would probably void whatever insurance they had to get to do wrestling on a cruise ship. Which I can't imagine that contract. Dear God.
Yeah, they're probably paying a pretty decent penny and also insurance money, stuff
Yeah.
like that. I mean, but they have done wrestling matches and stuff on there before. I guess last year they had matches that weren't associated necessarily with any television product, but like the Elite were there and Jericho wrestled with folks and stuff like that. The interesting thing is this year they're tying it in with AEW, so it is the official Wednesday Night Dynamite show is coming live from the Jericho Cruise, which
Oh, nice.
I think is interesting cross promotion between Chris Jericho and AEW.
So the real question is, will Fozzy be the opening band for the pay-per-view?
Oh, Fozzie's playing a bunch of. It's not even a pay per view; it's just a regular show.
Oh, is it just
But-
regular?
yeah.
Nice.
And then they also this
Fozzy?
last week, if you remember your old WCW days, they did Bash at the Beach on AEW live from the
Yeah.
University of Miami, and I was like, okay, this is taking me back a few years.
So did you guys say Fozzy?
Yeah, that's the name of.
Waka.
Yeah, it's the name of Jericho's rock band. Is
Oh.
Fozzy. Jericho is
Oh.
actually also a rock star.
Yes,
I thought you were talking about the Muppet.
No, we weren't
No.
talking about Waka Waka Waka.
I'm a little sad now. I don't care anymore.
oh, Will.
We're talking about Le Champion on the microphone.
Is he French all of a sudden?
He pretends to be sometimes.
It's whatever the gimmick calls
Oui.
for.
Yep.
He's Le Champion right now. Though. We'll see
La
if he
Stupido.
remains the champion, though. This has been your pro wrestling chat on the All
Damn
Things
right.
Good and Nerdy podcast, where
I
we
don't
barely talked about WWE, but geeked out about AEW. I'm not sure if that
As
necessarily
it
means
should be.
anything, or
Fuck Titan Sports.
I'm indifferent to all of it.
that's fair.
Damn it! I'm not wearing my AEW shirt. I'll have
Good.
to wear it to work tomorrow.
So I'm not
AEW is
either.
Jericho.
I'm wearing my Next Generation hoodie that looks like a uniform top. It's delightful because there's that-
So what are you
Fine.
wearing, baby? Tell me what you're wearing.
I'm wearing my Dork Forest.
Make it
Dork on Dork dialogue.
Make it sultry.
Yeah.
Call me with those.
Yeah.
no, the question is,
Oh yeah.
what you wearing, Willie?
No pants.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you want me to stand up, I can.
No.
This guy's creepy.
Please stay seated. Please stay seated.
I'm wearing a shirt of Zool and a whole lot of nothing else, baby.
and a whole lot of fur.
You goddamn
This
right.
is my fault. I should have known better, and I'm
Yep,
going to fix
you
the
asked.
problem right now.
You asked.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet. It's the news of the week.
It's the news of the week. It's that part of the show where we run down what's in our minds. Some of the most interesting geeky and or nerdy news to have popped up here in the past, I don't know, week, 8 days or so. But we got stuff. Willie's going to chime in with his commentary because that's what we keep him here for, is his commentary.
I talk.
You provide high-level commentary that
don't.
everybody loves. You're the
I-
king of commentary.
I talk.
He talks indeed. He talks.
I talk good.
He has the bestest words.
I say the stuffs.
I talk good.
Willie has good English. The best.
Willie Prango, boom.
Good.
All right, I'll go first and start out with my news of the week. It's something that's been rumored off and on, but the rumor seems to have picked up steam. The Disney is supposedly developing a Knights of the Old Republic Disney Plus series to be set in the Star Wars universe, and supposedly a tie-in Knights of the Old Republic film. Why is this a big deal? If you're like me, who remembers, and I want to say it was about 2003, 2004, BioWare put out one of my favorite Star Wars games of all time, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, that was set thousands of years prior to the Star Wars movies we all know and some of us love, but we all have enjoyed to some extent, where it was the height of the Sith rising to power, and it was a pretty cool Sith-based war, and with typical BioWare traits. You had really great story that would then sometimes screw with your head as big reveals came into play. It was a fantastic game. And before we go any further, I do have to ask, did you guys play this game?
KOTOR, no.
Yeah, the
Xbox exclusive.
one of the coolest one of the coolest acronyms ever, KOTOR and KOTOR 2. Hell yeah, I did. I played both of them. I loved them.
Right.
Darth Revan is a beast.
Yes, he is. I know.
Yes, he, she, they are.
By canon, Revan is male, and
Yeah,
the
but when you
Exile
play
is
the
female.
game, as you're
Correct.
talking about the game, whoever you play, you're Revan.
Correct.
Which was a
Spoiler?
really cool way of setting up the game. Kind of spoiler.
It's not really a spoiler because
It's also
Yeah.
a 20-year-old game,
I
so
don't know, it's been 17 years. Give it
yeah.
a rest.
well, here's the question: is if you can't play it on Xbox, Willie, have you thought about picking it up as an Android app or something like that? Because it is available for like less than $10 on Android.
No, I don't
No.
want to play anything like that on my phone.
Why
Or
not?
what? On my phone?
Why not?
No. What?
Your PC could run it too. I know the game's old, but your PC can handle a 17-year-old game, I bet.
You're thinking a whole lot more highly of my laptop than I do.
Okay. Then.
I'm sure they'll re-release it for whatever systems are out when and if those shows / movie come out.
Yeah, right now it's $9.99 on Steam.
Because why would you not?
That's fair. So
That's
the news
true.
comes from Fandom Wire, who said Disney does not have an exact timetable for the announcement of the series, but the news could be expected soon as they prepare for their new era of films and television shows set in the Star Wars universe. And they have said they're taking a break from Star Wars movies for a few years, and they've seen that people tend to like television-based Disney Plus content for it so far, so they might be smarter going that way.
Actually, that would actually be smart if they get ahead of it right now until like start making like a remake of the game or something. Why don't they do that?
I kind of wish
Start
they would.
now.
I kind of
Yeah.
wish they would. It's one of my favorite games. I've replayed it multiple times. It has one of the best reveals in a game and a twist that I'm not going to spoil for anyone because I felt bad for my now wife who was spoiled on it 2 years ago right as she was about to start playing the game when someone at work was like, "Oh, I loved when such and such happened." And she's like, "Really? I was just saying I hadn't played the damn game."
Oh, that's a dick move.
Yeah, it was a dick move.
All right, is a spoiler when you go up to the final fight and you turn on your lightsaber, all of a sudden it's impotent and limp?
No,
Really? No.
that's only a spoiler for when Willie plays the game.
You know they make little blue pills for that now, right?
You'd be surprised.
They're not little pills. They're big pills.
All things with me are little.
The horse pills.
Do you take them orally or other ways?
If you ain't boofing, you're goofing.
So, KOTOR, rumored to be coming to Disney Plus as a TV series. I think that would be an interesting and cool way to do it. It also ties in with the fact that I've been saying if you ever want to do a Mass Effect product, you should also be looking at a TV series, not necessarily a movie, because much like most of these BioWare games, there's way too much story to try and fit into 2.5 hours of a movie.
Yeah. And after Respawn having done Fallen Order, it would be cool if Respawn and BioWare got together and did a new KOTOR. Like on the next generation systems, if they plan one for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, like they could do a vicious ass Jedi game. It could be fun.
I guess the real question, though, is there an appetite still for those kind of RPGs in today's gaming climate? I don't know.
I'm playing Fallen Order. It's sold pretty well.
Remember BioWare? I'm meaning RPGs like KOTOR was, where it's not really combat.
Oh, more storyline
choosing
oriented.
special moves and stuff like that. And it's like based on D&D rules, that kind of stuff. I don't know if there's necessarily a market for that, or if you could look at trying to turn KOTOR into an open world-ish kind of thing, similar to what they did with Mass Effect Andromeda. There were flaws to Andromeda, but the open world concept they were playing with, it was interesting.
Yes, I mean mixing in because I mean, and all when it comes to BioWare, you want a BioWare story. You want that BioWare team to go nuts and craft a full world and get you all that in-depth stuff that they bring to those things. Because that's what made the KOTOR games great. That's why Chris loves Mass Effect. It was all the BioWare storytelling. But they could take that and mix it with a little more action and make it a little more. Maybe a little less RPG, but a little more action role playing. Like it could be good.
Here's the problem, though: most of that team at BioWare is long gone because of failures like Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem. I bought it for $10. I still haven't played it. I should probably fire that up at some point in time. But I might actually
$10. It's the best Iron Man simulator you're ever gonna play.
But here's the thing:
except for Iron Man VR coming up,
which got delayed. Also, like Final Fantasy got delayed. Like Avengers got delayed. Pretty much everything by Square Enix got delayed. Which we can get to later, but shouldn't surprise anyone. I lost my train of thought because I went on a ramble there. Crap.
Anthem.
Anthem. Yeah. So
other games made by BioWare after BioWare people left.
I was going to fire up Anthem this last weekend, but after my enjoyment of the Witcher series and buying Witcher with all the DLC like 2 years ago for $20 and not playing it, or rather playing 40 minutes and not getting hooked by it, I think I'm going to give Witcher 3 a try again. Because if my wife is any indication, once you get hooked, you're going to love it. She just finished her third playthrough of it with 140 plus hours into it. So,
Is that overall or just that playthrough?
That playthrough was 140 hours.
Just making sure.
I appreciate the point of clarification. She got it for the Switch because while it might not be as graphically powerful as the other systems and stuff like that, she could sit in the recliner downstairs while I was watching TV or we were watching a shared show we enjoy and play Witcher while it was going on.
Witcher while you work.
I see what you did there, and I appreciate
I mean, I did just get Witcher, was it 2 weeks ago? I haven't tried it out yet because Fallen Order is still a thing.
That's fair.
But I think I got it for $10, 15. I don't know. It was on sale for something. I was like, all right. Yeah.
It is. So going back to this news on a KOTOR show, I hope it's true, but at this point in time, when it comes to Star Wars rumors, I tend not to believe any of them until I actually see some solid evidence. Although there was that wonderful rumor that nobody knows that came from. Did you guys see the rumor about Obi-Wan series this week that came out?
Mm-mm.
So there's a website and a Twitter account called Discussing Films. Someone made a parody of at Discussing Films Twitter account, but they flip-flopped the S and the C, so it was like Dick Sussing Films, but used the same logo and floated a rumor out there that the Star Wars Obi-Wan series was being canceled because of creative differences between Ewan McGregor's team and Disney. And it took off like friggin' crazy for a day or so before everyone finally came out. No, this is bullshit. It came from a bad source. There is no actual news or any real sources that say Star Wars Obi-Wan is in any threat of cancellation. But it took off for a while just because of a troll Twitter account. It's strange.
No,
there are a few
people do like some troll shit.
True. There are a few people needlessly clinging to that thought, like, I have sources at Lucasfilm that say this is true. And I'm like, sure you do. Sure you do. Name your sources. You're just
my
as bad
uncle.
They're just as bad as WeGotThisCovered.com, which is the worst nerd news site out there. Never cite them. We've made that mistake in the past before on this show. It is absolute trash, hot garbage what they present.
So I know where to look for my next week's news of the week.
Yes, you do.
Right. No, so we're going Ramblecast. It's Ramblecast this week. So I'm trying to find the Twitter thread, but there is a guy that did a full breakdown of the bullshit that is We Got This Covered, and I have a link to it in the Gonna Geek Discord that I shared with folks because I'm like, don't be like me. Don't fall for this trap where you sometimes quote We Got This Covered because you'll feel bad. And I actually do have the Twitter thread here. It's from a user at Pierre Shinley. I don't know how to say it exactly, but back December 31st, 2019, here's his Twitter thread. For the past months, I've been spending my free time cataloging every time We Got This Covered has reported a, quote, scoop relating to the MCU. Starting from December 31st, 2018 to December 31st, 2019, 1 year, 407 articles, on average, one scoop per day. He has broken them down. Only 1.2% of the rumors they have gotten were correct, and that's him throwing them a bone.
So that's but 4. They were right 4 times in 400 articles.
Everyone who's aware of We Got This Covered knows they're unreliable, but this just proves it with numbers. He has a breakdown that shows it. Then he continues and says, what is public information? Those are scoops that aren't actually scoops, either because someone else reported it before them or it is already public knowledge. Most baffling example of this is the reporting of the R rating for Deadpool 3. Not once, not twice, but thrice over this year, they've reported that Marvel Studios would keep Deadpool 3 R rated. He provides web archive links to them at archive.org because they've taken some of this stuff down in the past.
Of
Even
course.
though Bob Iger himself said as much in February during an investor call that was even reported by Variety, an entire month before their first report,
Before their first scoop.
before their first scoop about it. Now, why do they have so many unconfirmed scoops? Because the vast majority of them cannot be reliably confirmed or denied at this time. Here's a chart without unconfirmed articles being taken into account. We'll bring that up. Accuracy, excluding unconfirmed. Right, 8.2% of the time. Public information, 47.5% of the time. And wrong, 44.3% of the time. Now,
Wow.
I've reported something I saw on this site before, and I feel bad. There are a couple episodes in the past where I've done that, and I wish I could go back and apologize more profusely. The thread's not over yet, which comes to most of their lazy scoops being eyed scoops, which makes up the majority of these unconfirmed reports. These are actors who Marvel Studios have interest in casting for a specific role, but they aren't in talks with. They're just keen on casting them. These articles are basically a win-win for them. If the actor that's being eyed isn't cast, well, they aren't wrong. They were just being eyed. After all, no one can prove otherwise. But if
Yeah.
they're right, boom, our sources are great. Continuing, however, one of these reports I just refuse to believe is true, and they made up like the rest of their eyed articles. They reported that Marvel Studios have Ronda Rousey on an internal shortlist for She-Hulk.
What? No. Please
this is-
no.
This is his internal opinion coming into play here, but goes, not only is Rousey a god-awful actress, but she has loads of controversial baggage with her far worse than criticizing the lack of diversity in reviewer circles. Like, say, making very transphobic comments or being a Sandy Hook truther. And there's a link to a Bleacher Report article where he starts talking about her Sandy Hook views. Now to bring up Rousey being a terrible person, here are screenshots of We Got This Covered articles that turned out to be pretty hilariously false. Like them saying that Hemsworth was done with the MCU, only to have it debunked 4 months later. And they post an article from Hollywood Reporter that debunks it. Annette Bening's second role after the Supreme Intelligence was not, in fact, Carol's mother, but Marvel. We're going to have casting announcements for Ms. Marvel pretty soon, and Captain Marvel 2 won't be coming out until at least 2023. So I'm calling this one a dud, where they say Ms. Marvel will reportedly debut in Captain Marvel 2.
And they're still not casting announcements for Kamala Khan.
Right? This one isn't wrong, but them making an obvious educated guess and calling it a scoop. On May 15th, Kevin Feige had an AMA in which he said the Mandarin would appear in an upcoming movie. Gosh, I wonder which movie they'll appear in next. And he said, and the We Got This Covered scoop is the Mandarin will be in Shang-Chi. Well, we all kind of assumed that.
Yeah.
They went to a further story. Marvel said to be playing an R-rated Blade movie with Wesley Snipes. Well, they got the Blade part right. We don't know about the R rating, but Wesley Snipes definitely ain't involved.
No.
Not to mention this movie is only being made because Mahershala Ali called them after winning his second Oscar, wanting to play Blade.
Yeah, and it's pretty much guaranteed that would be another one that they would be fine risking another R rating on, because the 3 R-rated Blade movies already made them money.
Right.
They didn't make tons of money, but they made money. Even Blade Trinity was not a box office failure.
Right. He continues. Also, keep in mind, this is me cataloging their scoops related to the MCU only. They report on everything Star Wars, DC, and everything else in Hollywood. Not to mention that the vast majority of their titles are the definition of clickbait. If you want to see the entire catalog of scoops from them, you can look at the Google Sheet I made for it under the We Got This Covered tab. There's a link to Google Docs where you can pick that up and look for it for yourself.
From the sound of it, I don't think I want to.
It just goes
Yeah.
to show it's kind of BS. He then updated on January 2nd and added to his thread saying something else I just find endlessly amusing is how expensive they believe She-Hulk will be, and there's scoops that keep inflating it more and more. Of course, the show will star She-Hulk, who will likely be a CGI effect like Hulk in the movies. Already pretty expensive. First, they claim the obvious, that the Hulk will star in the show too, which makes sense, he's her cousin after all. Two heavily CGI characters on a TV show with a budget of potentially up to $20 million per episode. Alright, maybe, but then they say that both the Abomination and Leader will appear in the show, which is kind of pushing it. But hey, the show does need villains. That's potentially 4 characters that rely heavily on CGI. Oh, but you think that's it? They then say that Red Hulk will appear in the show. What? That's 5 CGI heavy characters, again with a show that's only a potential budget of just up to 20 million per episode. But wait, there's more. In addition to Hulk original appearing on the show, his gray variant will appear on the show too. Jesus. And it's not like Gray Hulk would be as simple as a color swap with
Yeah,
the
Mr.
default
Fix
either.
It.
So that's 6 CGI characters so far. Yes, so far I've saved the best for last. MODOK. They say MODOK will make their MCU debut in She-Hulk. They're doing the equivalent of throwing everything against the wall to see what will stick. I refuse to believe that all these characters will be on the show. Either they'll have mediocre CGI, appear very, very briefly, or will be the most expensive television show in history.
Or they'll be makeup and physical effects, or the actors in human mode.
I really don't know why, but I really want to see MODOK played by George Clooney.
Just a giant George Clooney head. That would be kind of cool. And they did the face of Bo on Doctor Who, which is basically just MODOK without the little legs.
True.
So it can be done.
That is true.
Yeah, the Leader, you just give him the big, a really thick head. You just put a helmet, you wrap green skin around it. Just physical. Doesn't have to be CGI.
He continues with some more of their headlines. He's going to be updating the thread periodically. Reminds me, they said that Charlie Cox's Daredevil could show up in She-Hulk. We can make those news report claims too, because anything could happen.
Yeah, Heroes for Hire could show up on Disney Plus.
Right. Here's probably one of the best examples of their clickbait nature in action. Vague wording and not mentioning the specific actor's name. Male pronouns and using Black Panther himself as the image article. You'd be forgiven to think they're referring to Chadwick Boseman. So what's the headline? Black Panther star says he's uncertain about his Marvel cinematic future, with a picture of the Black Panther on there. He continues, but nope, they're referring to an interview in which Martin Freeman talks about how he hasn't been in contact about playing his character Ross again, despite the fact the movie isn't going to be released until 2022. So guys, don't use WeGotThisCovered.com. Just don't do it. It's bad. It's bad. I've fallen prey to it before, and I feel absolutely terrible that I have referenced their stuff on the All Things Good and Nerdy show before. I will never do it again. In fact, whenever one of my friends posts a news story from WeGotThisCovered.com, there's a meme image I always post, which is a busload full of people, Spider-Man in front of it trying to hold it from crashing, and a dude walking through the street listening to music, not paying attention. The busload of people labeled, I can't remember the meme now. Shit, I'll share it at some other point in time. But I always do it. It's basically me trying to cut down my friend's excitement on We Got This Covered news stories. It's bad, guys. It's bad.
It's very bad. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. It's bad.
I apologize for this aside, but it is a lesson I have learned, and I felt terrible for sharing news from there before, and I will never do so again, and I will never click a link that they have. And they are also notorious on YouTube for when a movie trailer comes out, ripping their own version, then reposting it to try and get the clicks. Like, for instance, they had the Morbius trailer, like within 6 hours of it coming out, and I wanted to watch it, and I searched Morbius on YouTube, and the first result that came up was We Got This Covered with 2 million clicks on it. And I went, fuck no, I'm not clicking on this. I'm not giving you my hard-earned click. I don't care for the site.
My hard-on click.
Hard-earned click.
He
Not
said
Your
hard-on.
hard-on click, huh?
Oh dear, here we go. Willie,
Yep.
I'm going to give you the floor. You go with your conspiracy theory here.
All right, I missed a lot. My headphones turned off. I thought I had them charging all night, so I missed a lot of that. So I just came into hard-ons. So you guys are a couple of hard-ons. I know that very much. Hey, it's better than being limp bastards.
God damn it.
I don't know, Bachman. I'm looking at you a little bit.
Whoa.
Nah, you're the strongest hard-on there is on here. Just like in your Navy days, you're full of semen.
I'm definitely salty.
That leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
There you go, Willie. That's you.
I tasted the salty. I was like, oh. Why is it not like a salty ice cream, I wonder?
You could get like a salted
There
caramel
are.
ice cream and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's not the same. I mean, like it's just a salty thing of ice cream. Like that. Yep, that's salty. I wonder if it's ionized.
Could be.
But fuck you guys for not laughing harder.
Laughing harder, I didn't laugh at all.
I noticed.
Maybe you should work on your comedy.
Listen, they all can't be home runs.
I would settle for a single right now.
Or a bunt.
Listen, I'm in pain. I'm wearing no pants. I'm draped in a blanket. It's cold.
Uh-oh.
How cold is it down there, Willie?
I don't even know, man. I woke up, it was cold. I can't really use my left shoulder.
It's 18 degrees here. I'm not digging it.
I just want snow. Just make some snow.
Also.
You lucky bastard.
And it'll be 50 degrees on Wednesday.
You lucky bastard. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Know. But that's all I got for news. I kind of went on a random diatribe there. My apologies, but it had to be done. Now I feel I have cleansed my soul and unburdened myself from providing fake news on this show before.
Oh, this just in. It's 34 here.
34.
Not quite freezing.
We are up to 22 here. 22 degrees.
See, the funny thing is, about 2 weeks ago, it was in the 70s.
Yeah, same here.
What? Why? What weather? What's going on with you? You all right?
Global warming, man. It's just a myth made up by
No,
the Chinese, right?
that's not a thing, man.
Yeah,
like the Chinese.
Yep.
The Chinese.
Wait, are you saying the Chinese aren't a thing? Is that what you just said, Willie? They're made up?
The Chinese.
Yeah, it's 30 in Boise.
You're 30 in Boise.
Nope, I'm 42 in Boise. Get it right. Junior.
I mean, you're not old enough to be my dad.
Well.
He could, I don't think he could have been 7 and had a kid. That's tough. Or 8, depending on whether you're 35 or 34 currently, Willie.
Sure.
Sure.
Bachman, what do you got for us this week?
Word good.
We got the announcement of Marvel's big summer spectacular event of the year of 2020, and it is going to be called Empyre, spelled with a Y, because there was already a comic book called Empyre, Emprie, by Kurt Busiek that was awesome because it was about a supervillain that won and then had to manage being in charge of the whole world. And it was an awesome comic book about how awful it is if you actually take over the planet and have to run it, because then you're in charge.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
Yeah. So Marvel is putting out glimpses of the new X-Men and Fantastic Four tie-ins for the new event, the architects of which will be Al Ewing, Dan Slott, and Valerito Shiti. And they're going to do Empyre starting in, I think it's April. So it's going to be, they're going to relaunch, re-envision copies of one-shots of the Kree Skull War, the Celestial Madonna saga, and a story about the Kree Skrull-born Teddy Altman, also known as Hulkling from the Young Avengers. And so it looks like it's going to be another event that is based around the space races of the Marvel comic book universe, specifically the Krees and the Skrulls, which, of course, now that there is a character like Hulkling, who is both Kree and Skrull and a shapeshifter and a superhero, like it's pretty much guaranteed he's going to be involved. Some really cool looking promo arts coming out for the first issue. Let's see. Chung. What's the hell's Chung's first name? Jim Chung's doing the covers. The first cover for number 1. Yeah, he did the artwork for I think it was Civil War. I think he did the 6 issues. Yeah, he's a killer artist. But yeah, the first issue cover is out for the cover of what's going to be Empyre number 1. And then they also announced that they are doing 2 all-new 0 issues to kick off the event. So Al Ewing, Dan Slott will join Pepe Larraz and RB Silva for new Avengers and Fantastic Four stories. So we're getting 2 one-shots, Avengers Empyre A and Fantastic Four Empyre 4. They're both 0 issues with a nice combined cover, which just looks gorgeous. But yeah, you got the Avengers standing toe to toe with or standing next to what looks like one of the versions. It looks almost like the Moon Knight version, or not Moon Knight, the Black Knight version of the Swordsman, but is a Skrull, or he's a Kree. I'm confusing my alien races.
It happens.
Yeah,
Happens
especially with Marvel.
times.
And then the Fantastic Four cover has them surrounded by Skrulls, but it looks like they're also helping a Skrull and a Kree child, and they got like Kree warriors and Skrull warriors around them attacking them. So really cool cover. But yeah, it looks like there's going to be another giant dust up in the galactic Marvel universe, which will lead to more, of course, crazy sci-fi stories. And yeah, it looks like also in the Avengers one, he's down hidden behind Iron Man and Hulkling, but Ghost Rider is there. So they're keeping Ghost Rider doing the galactic stuff, and it's just kind of funny to see his car just driving through space. They've been doing it in the last couple of Avengers issues, where they got the Avengers were out in space dealing with some stuff, and just having the car like just flying through space, and he's just driving his Charger, just kicking ass. It's crazy what they've done with that new version of Ghost Rider. They've had some fun with that kid.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, so another huge event, big shocker. The summer's going to come around, and Marvel's going to have an event, and it's going to have crossovers, and it's going to have tie-ins.
It's going to be expensive to buy them all because of how many tie-ins it has.
More than likely.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Pepe Larraz and RB Silva doing art on those 2 one-shots, those will be gorgeous. That's guaranteed. The Jim Chung covers are going to be gorgeous. And then, yeah, the full book itself, it doesn't say on here how many issues the series is going to be. So I'm assuming it's going to be another mini. So it'll probably be 6, 8, maybe 12, depending on if they go Last Road or they go Civil War style. But yeah, hopefully if Jim Chung's doing all the art on it, then, I mean, hopefully they give him a lot of lead-up time. Because I think the last issue of Civil War was late.
Yeah, and he has a very detailed pencil.
Yeah,
So I could see where that could potentially happen.
Yeah, the dude does a whole lot of nitpicking and little.
He did a lot of the Young Avengers books at first too, and they're gorgeous.
Yeah, the first series of Young Avengers were gorgeous books, and yeah, almost all of that was because Jim Chung was drawing it. But yeah, so new events to look forward to, and then yeah, it'll be the reprints of like the Kree Skrull War will be good for people to catch up on stuff that they never read back in the days. I think that was like late 80s, early 90s. They did the Kree Skrull War back when back before the MCU, when the Kree Supreme Intelligence was a giant head in a jar.
Right.
There's a big green head with tentacles in a huge aquarium that talked trash and made all the Kree do what it wanted.
So life was better then.
I don't know. Annette Bening as the Supreme Intelligence, I thought was pretty fucking cool.
Well, then Kurt Busiek brought it back in like the mid 90s. They brought a lot of stuff back into. Here's the terrible things that the Avengers did to the Kree.
Yep. And then there'll be crossovers with the X-Men, of course. And then one of the cool other ones they announced was Nick Bradshaw did a cover for what is going to be apparently possibly the home FF team while the FF are away fighting this war. And so you have a cover that says Avengers Fantastic Four Empyre A4. So it's got the 4 part of the A in blue, but then the leg of the A. So it's the Avengers logo mixed with the Fantastic Four logo. But the team that you've got wearing the blue costumes under the Fantastic Four banner is Valeria and Franklin Richards, the 2 Richards kids, along with Wolverine and Spider-Man, who have both been alternate FF members in the past. So yeah, we might get a Spidey, Logan, and the kids version of FF for a while, which could be for some fun reading. Because yeah, whenever you got Parker and Wolverine trying to work together, it always ends up being hilarity.
And Dan Slott does love writing him some Peter Parker too.
He does, and he's damn good at it. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, that was my news of the week.
That's interesting.
Marvel's making comics still.
Yeah. They don't make just movies anymore.
Nope.
Wait, they still... Yeah, you guys know what I meant.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah. You know all those movies that you love? They all came from somewhere. None of them are original ideas.
They came from Willie's brain. They all are Willie Nelson original.
Over my brain, I'll see movies made by I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't know where you are either.
But it wasn't original. No copyright infringement.
That's true. Now, we all know Willie Nelson's really known for his imagination on this show. He's the imaginative one who comes up with crazy ideas. Isn't that right, Willie?
Yes.
Yes.
In
Do you
a
Good.
world of
Word.
Do
Good.
you want to
imagination.
exercise your imagination today, Willie?
I don't want
I'm
to see him
not gonna
exercise. He's
say
not wearing
no.
pants.
Sorry,
I mean-
what were you saying, Willie?
I'm not gonna say no.
All right. Well, I have a way for you to exercise your imagination. Since we got a little extra time here,
Uh-huh.
it is a little thing I want to turn into a game for us. But have you guys heard of the AI dungeon?
No.
Negative.
So there is a gentleman out there who has developed an app, and he is actually running it as his full-time job via Patreon now to create a Dungeons and Dragons inspired choose your own text-based adventure online where they use AI to try and arguably make the story better when you tell it to do wacky things. And I was thinking from time to time we could go log on to the AI dungeon and give it a try ourselves. So do you guys want to give the AI dungeon a try?
So many penises are about to happen.
Oh,
That's
no.
okay. And you
Kidding.
guys will get to create whatever world you want. And if you want to play for yourself, you can go to aidungeon.io and you'll be able to play it yourself. And we've got it brought up on screen so you can look at it. To start things out, we need you to pick a setting. Do you guys want to be in a fantasy world? Do you want to do a mystery epic, apocalyptic epic, something involving zombies, or build your own custom world? What is your preference here?
I'm gonna need to hear those options one more time just to make
Sure.
100% sure that I know what I'm doing, and to stop Chris from talking more. I'm gonna do what I want.
So we need either fantasy, mystery, apocalyptic, zombie, or custom scenario. What would you guys like to try?
Well, I'm down for some fantasy or mystery, but I'm also here to hear what Bachman has to say too, because word good.
Let's do the fantasy. That
Let's
way you can
go.
have, if you're going to have dicks pulling out Willie, you can have dwarf dick, you can have elf dick, you can have pixie dick.
That's fair. So now that we are in a fantasy world, we need to tell the AI whether we want to be a noble, a knight, a squire, a wizard, a ranger, a peasant, or a rogue.
I vote wizard.
You know, I'm good with wizard.
You're going to use magic to turn people into penises, right?
Magic dicks.
What is your character's name? What are we
Magic
going to call
dicks.
this? Magic dicks?
Hold on, no, hold on. We got this. We
Is
can be
this
more
Sir Penis
clever than that. No. You're not going to use my name for that. Don't you dare. Let's do something goofy like Dorkle.
Dorkle?
Yeah, because dork's like, hey, dork like a penis. Boom,
Right.
bang. There's your dick reference there for you, Bachman.
Dorkle
Dorkle.
is the character's name. They're
Dorkle.
generating the story for us right now. It'll take it a second. I will act as your dungeon master to some effect and read what's here so that our audio listeners will be able to participate as well.
Good, because I can't read that.
You are Dorkle, a wizard living in the kingdom of Larion. You have a staff and a spell book. You finish your long journey and finally arrive at the ruin you've been looking for. You look around and see it's not much different than when you left it. You enter the ruins and find yourself in a large room with many doors leading to other rooms. There's also an altar on one side of the room and several statues of gods on the other. So how this works is we have a line of text where we put in what we want to do. And they say it generally works best to start with an action, like cast a spell, yell angrily, search for, and give as much detail as possible. We can use long sentences. They say we can get creative. If we don't like what we got, we can put the word revert. It'll take us back a step. So in the ruins of Larion, what is it you guys want to do?
All right. And what was to the left and to the right? Statues and what?
There's a bunch of doors, an altar, and statues.
There's an altar on one side of the room and several statues of gods on the other.
Okay. All right.
Inspect the altar.
Inspect. It helps if I could spell.
There's something on it I want to know.
Inspect the altar, we say. The AI is thinking a little bit. And one thing to keep in mind is if we want more story without taking action, we can do that just by pushing the enter key.
Oh.
You walk over to the altar and examine it. It has a statue of a god on top of it. The statue looks like it belongs here, but the statue looks like it belongs here. There is no way this could be anything else.
All right, time for dumb moves. Take the statue, toss it to the ground to break it, and then sit yourself on top of the altar to become said god.
Toss the statue on the ground and sit on the altar.
To become the god. I mean,
To
that's I'm
become
assuming that's happening.
the god. All right.
I wonder
We'll
what
see
AI
what
is
the
gonna think of
AI
that.
does with this.
Dorkle
You
ain't fucking around.
You toss
Dorkle
the
is not.
statue onto the altar and sit down. This seems strange since you don't know what kind of god this is. Suddenly, a voice calls out to you from above. Do you guys want to take an action or just hit the enter key to let the AI give us more details?
Oh, I say enter.
Listen, yeah, I just want to
Yeah.
listen to what the voice
Okay.
say.
We're going to get some more detail here. Maybe it's thinking. Hello, mortal. Who are you, you ask? The voice answers back, I am the god of magic, and I was sent by my master to help you in your quest.
Help us how?
Ask,
Yeah.
you want to ask how?
Yep.
Ask how the god will help. It's thinking right now. How will I help you? By making sure that you succeed or fail. Why would I do such a thing, you ask? Because if you failed, then all of our plans would be ruined. If you succeeded, we wouldn't have any purpose anymore. That one's confusing.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
either way, so I'm all right with this.
What do you guys want to do then?
So I asked the god which door we should take to leave the room.
Ask the god how we leave the room or which door to take.
Are
Which
you
door to take?
There's multiple doors here. He only said an altar and statues. Am I missing some doors?
Yes, he mentioned the doors twice.
There were doors also leading to everything. Ask
Dorkle
the
don't
god.
get to the doors.
So we're going to say, ask the god which door to take to leave the room. Start an action. Huh. You can also do another thing here. It says start an action with an exclamation point in the beginning to stop the game from putting a U and just allow something to appear. That's interesting. So anyways, what door should I go through, you ask? That depends on what you want to accomplish in this place. What do you mean, you ask back?
Become a god.
Say, I wish to become a god.
Yes.
Yes, yes, that is a common desire among mortals. We can grant it to you. But why me, you ask? We need someone who has already achieved godhood before we can teach you how to become one. So what does this mean exactly? I think the AI is starting to get confused.
I mean, I'm all right with that. So, what was the last part it asked of us? Like, what was it?
We need someone who has already achieved godhood before we can teach you how to become one.
So you have to find someone that's already achieved godhood.
Yeah.
Where can I find someone who has achieved godhood?
Where can I find someone who has achieved
Lead us, game.
godhood?
Lead us. Don't just make us ask another question to continue. Lead.
It's thinking right now.
AI, come on, lead Dorkle to the right.
There isn't anyone like you in the world. However, there is a man named Yag. He is the only person in history who has ever attained godhood. So we need to ask where to find Yag.
Yes, lead us to Yag.
Or we could just say we leave for Yag.
Okay.
I don't know. Either way, I'm good with it.
Wait, we're a
How
wizard.
about we
Why
do
don't-
the command of Yag appears?
There you go. Yeah, we're a wizard. Summon Yag.
Cast a spell to summon Yag.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, fuck it. Dorkle's fucking lazy.
Yeah. He's lazy as a wizard. I'm going to sit here in this chair and I'm summoning this motherfucker and he's going to tell me how to become a god.
It seemed to work. You cast a spell to call upon Yag. You feel his presence right away. Hello, mortal, Yag says. It is good to meet you.
I mean, I hope we're still sitting on top of this little altar.
We have not left the altar. We
Nope.
are still
We're
seated
still-
firmly on the altar.
We're still seated and working from the throne.
Throne.
So now that Yag has appeared, what do we do?
Voice, Yag, voice, make me a god.
No, I was gonna say, yo, Yag, this voice is telling me that you know how to make me a god. Can you help me?
Say, yo, Yag
I just want to say yo,
Voice-
Yag.
is
Yo, Yag.
telling me You know how to make me into a god. Period. Make me into a god. All right.
I wasn't gonna be forceful with it.
We'll see what happens. Oh, yes, I do. I'm not very good at it, though. Then you'll never be able to achieve godhood. Now let's get started, shall we?
I'm alright with this.
Yag begins to chant something about how he needs time and energy for his ritual.
Well, that doesn't lead to anything. All right.
We can ask the computer to do more just by pushing the enter key.
Yeah.
Or
Enter.
just say wait. Well, wait for the montage to be done for us to be a god.
Wait for Yag to gather his energy.
Yeah. Like, this is
There you go.
And then do you want to put and then become a god so that we're forcing it to make the change?
Sure. I mean, I hope it does it.
You spend 4 eons sitting on a chair.
We're not even on a chair. We're on a fucking pedestal. All right. You wait patiently for Yag to finish his ritual. The chanting continues as you continue to stare at him. Eventually, Yag finishes and looks around. Well done, mortal. You've completed the first step. He smiles and walks over to you. We've achieved our first step towards godhood.
How many steps are there?
As well, do we want to know the question to answer that, or just say
I'm
turn
just
me
gonna
into a
say-
god?
I'm just gonna say enter. Or wait. I thought I'm gonna say enter. See how this goes.
Enter. Okay.
Just see what he does.
Let's see what he does. It's thinking. Now you must learn from my mistakes, Yag says. First, you must obtain a powerful artifact that can aid in your ritual. Do you have anything like that? No, but I think I found one in this castle, you reply. So summon the artifact and give it to Yag.
There you go.
Yeah, I was thinking that exactly. No matter
Cast a
what.
spell to
The
summon
whole
the
point of
artifact,
being a wizard is the easy button.
and then give it to Yag.
Yeah. Here you go. Artifact. Whatever. Next step. Hurry. Come on. I'm trying to get to dinner.
I'm kind of want to turn this dark, but I'm gonna refrain.
No, you can do that. You cast a spell to summon the artifact and then give it to Yag. I believe this will work, Yag says. Good luck. Thanks, I guess, you reply. Bye, mortal. See you later. So does this mean we can turn into a god?
So casting the spell to summon the article and give it to him, and so he disappears. That's
Well, he hasn't left yet. He's just trying to. We could
Huh.
just do the action to turn ourselves into a god, or we could just cast a spell to turn ourselves into a god.
I mean, if we had that ability, why wouldn't we just already be a god?
Maybe this unlocked knowledge in our head to do it.
All
I
right.
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's just do that.
Or we could use the exclamation thing to make something happen, like suddenly we turn into a god.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah. Just
So
exclamation point turn into God, or a turn into a god.
So I did the action of turn into a god. Let's see what it does. It's thinking. We might have broken the AI here.
Now we can summon all the mac and cheese we want.
Yeah, I don't think it likes this. You turn back into yourself and enter the next room. In this room, you see a large table with several candles burning on it. On top of the table sits an old man dressed in robes holding a staff. His face is wrinkled and his eyes bloodshot due to age. Our quest to become a god is not working out as well as we hope. Willie, do you want to turn
No.
this dark?
Yeah, sure. Let ask the old man if gods are immortal.
Okay. Ask the man if gods are immortal. The AI is currently thinking. Gods aren't immortal. They die when their physical bodies fail them, the old man replies. What happens to the souls of dead gods, you ask? They go to hell unless they're demons or devils.
Well, my next thing was to, stab this person in the neck and drink their blood to become a god.
All right, stab the man in the neck.
There you
and
go.
Drink his blood to become a god. We're going with the AI dungeon. We're going to see what happens here. If we turn into a god, we're good. You stab the man in the neck and take his blood. You then drink it, becoming a god. That was Interesting, you say. So what now? Now you must go to the Temple of Yag in the forest near here.
Oh,
But Yag again. We already met Yag.
yeah, my man Yag. Let's go tell him we became a god.
So,
told us.
our action now is teleport to the Temple of Yag.
There you go.
I mean, Yag got lucky. I didn't think of this before he left.
So we're going to teleport to the Temple of Yag. We'll see what happens. We'll give this another couple minutes and then we'll wrap it up. Oh, wait. This is interesting. You teleport to the Temple of Yag. The ritual is complete, Yag says. Go now and bring peace to all worlds. Wait, you shout. How am I supposed to kill everyone? How do I even find them all?
By bring peace, our response is, how do I kill everybody?
I like how it makes us want to respond, but it ends with us asking a question instead of Yag asking us a question.
Yeah, it's
So like,
the
okay.
AI's a little drunk.
I'm supposed to respond to myself.
We can let the AI do more by pushing the enter key if you want more detail.
No.
Or do you just want to kill Yag?
No. Yag's a good boy. Yag, man. How can you want to kill Yag, man? What's wrong with you? You don't want to kill Yag, man. Bachman, you level in on this.
There's been a lack of penises that I'm not expecting here. I expected Willie to do something with dicks
Yeah.
at some point by now.
I'd say hit enter one time right now to see what
Okay.
the next part's going to be.
We are finding out what the next step here is.
So you teleport to Yag. The ritual is complete. Go down, bring peace to all worlds. How am I supposed to find? How am I supposed to kill everybody and find him?
So you ask, what if there's only one god left? There won't be any gods left, mortal. There will be just you.
What was the question that was answering?
We didn't ask any question. Well, we
Yeah.
asked, how am I supposed to kill everyone? How do I even find them all? Followed up by, what if there's only one god left? And he says, there won't be any gods left, mortal. There will just be you.
So this is turning into the story of the Jet Li movie.
Yeah, it seems like
Kinda.
it. Hit Yag with a fireball.
No, whoa! I want to veto that. Yag
right.
made it cool in my book,
He did help us turn into a god.
and he got lucky. I didn't stab him in the throat to drink his blood.
You could drink his blood now to try and become a more powerful god.
Wait, actually, Bachman, you know what? He's a god, and we're supposed to be killing gods. Let's kill Yag. Let's stab him in the neck and drink his blood.
Stab
go.
Yag in the neck and drink his blood.
There can be only one.
Yell, there can be only one. Do you want me to do that?
There you
afterward?
go.
Although I was trying to do a quote from the one, but I think that's just Highlander, right?
Do you want any profanity in there, or just say there can be only one?
Let's do this clean.
There can
Yeah.
be only one. So the action was stab Yag in the neck and drink his blood. Yell, there can be only one. You stab Yag in the neck and take his blood. You scream out, there can be only one. Suddenly a massive explosion occurs throughout the entire temple. It destroys everything and kills everyone within it.
Does that mean we're dead now? Or
I don't know. I would assume that we may be alive. I can push the enter key to see what
yeah,
else
I
it
was
does.
saying, 'cause, I mean, you gotta let us in on something that we can react to. AI, come on.
You disappear completely as nothing remains except a black void. So I guess we're dead.
We destroyed reality.
We destroyed reality by killing Yag.
Cast the limit in the darkness. I don't know if you want to continue this or you just want to end this here. I'm all right with that.
We could also cast a spell to rebuild the world if you want, or we could
No, we're just dead.
go to sleep and then go to sleep forever.
There
D
you go.
for Dorkle, D for dead.
There you go. The end of Dorkle.
Hey, we killed 2 gods. Well, 3 if you count that statue we tossed to the floor.
So I wrote go to sleep forever and die as our action.
There you go.
And this
You
thus endeth the tale of Dorkle the Wizard.
Dorkle is dead. Long live Dorkle.
I told you, Dorkle.
Yeah, it's stuck in this loop now. You vanish completely as nothing remains but a black void. So we have effectively destroyed all of reality, space, and time. Congratulations, gentlemen. We are victorious. We are gods.
We do good work.
Oh, we were.
I mean, technically, we still are.
Fair.
And that is the AI dungeon. If you guys want to give it a try yourself, head over to aidungeon.io. It is free. It does exist as an app for iOS and Android, as well as being playable through a browser. You can also play other people's games if you want, because people will seed and create their own games, and you can give those a try. It's a fun way to kind of screw around from time to time.
That's definitely fun to see what you could do with the AI, what you can make it do. Kind of cool.
All I know is we just destroyed the entire world, so we're pretty great.
Or not to be fucked with.
Go Dorkle.
Go Dorkle. He's our favorite. That being said, we do need to start wrapping things up. We did play about, 20 minutes of the AI dungeon. Hope you did enjoy it. We'll probably try it again at some other point. But before we shut down this stream, we have one last segment to get into. It's a little bit called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date just what kind of geeky and or nerdy things we've been getting into, so that maybe, just maybe, you'll want to give them a try yourself. So the question is, what you guys been getting into, and who wants to go first? Who's kicking us off?
I've been getting into the Grand Soiree.
Ooh.
Apex has been doing a rotating 2-day limited mode event where for 14 days they're doing 7 different game modes. Some of it's been really weird, some of it's been really fun, some of it's been super glitchy. But they did Gold Rush duos, which was kind of fun. Every gun in the game was a gold weapon. So you got like the best versions of all the guns. Like if it was just guns laying on the ground, guns in bins, anywhere you'd find a gun, they were all the gold versions, which has pluses and minuses because it's supposedly the best version of every gun, but it also means you can't change like the sights or anything on them. So yeah, that one was kind of crazy. They did what's the one we just finished yesterday? Third person mode, which was weird because it is Apex Legends is a first person shooter. And so they pulled the camera back behind your character so you could actually watch your character running and look at like the outfits that you bought and all the skins you bought, which was, really cool to see some of the skins, see the out of body experiences, they called it, and watching your characters move around. Really awful trying to pick up loot out of a bin because where your cursor was aiming was not where you were actually aiming. And so you'd be aiming 2 items over and trying to ping stuff for your teammates was damn near impossible. You would run and jump and grab a zip line and you'd see the character's hand a foot across the screen away from the zip line you were actually zipping up. So yeah, some of the graphics I was real glitchy, but it was also funny. It's like, there's no animation when you throw grenades. You'd literally see your character's hand go up and you'd see the grenade go away and then the hand went back down. Like some of the shit was just weird. Today, I believe, is the start of Always Moving, where the rings always be closing. So the ring will start closing at the start of the match, and it never stops. So it's forcing a much faster, more aggressive match where there's no downtime apparently from the ring closing. It's like as soon as you hit the ground, you have to start running to the middle of the map or wherever the ring's going to end up at. And they're doing like a Dummies Day Out as one of the last ones. So getting ready for some fun events. The season 3 is coming to an end. Looking forward to. Looks like coming up in February will be the 1-year anniversary of Anthem. And so with the timing of the end of the 14-day event, the end of season 3, and then like a 2-week downtime, it looks like they might be ready to launch season 4 on the 1-year anniversary date, because I guess February 4th is also another Tuesday. So it'd be, in line with most game updates where they do stuff on Tuesdays. So yeah, been playing a bunch of Apex, playing some Fallen Jedi Fallen Order. I'm stuck in the stupid Wind Temple because I can't ever seem to get out of temples when I play games like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if I could pushing big balls around and killing giant robots, that game is definitely fun. I'm liking it so far. I'll be more interested once I have all the Jedi powers, but so far I've just played enough to just get the first one, or I guess the second one, because you start with slow. But yeah, definitely a fun game. I like the kid, the actors and the voice talent in it is definitely interesting. Getting to meet the little droid that goes around and gives you stims is cool. And then played a little Dead by Daylight, watched a couple of shows, I finally got all cut up on Into the Badlands, watched the end of season 3, I think, on Netflix finally, which that show went through some crazy epicness. It was really good stuff. And then I actually did get my hands on something. I went ahead and ordered the newest Smuggler's Bounty from Amazon, because Amazon took over doing the Smuggler's Bounty from Funko. Though sadly, apparently, I'm now hearing that the Rise of Skywalker, Adventures of Kajimi, Smuggler's Bounty is the last one. Smuggler's Bounty has now been canceled. And the really sad part is that they had the pin, so you got an awesome little Dio pin, just like all the other ones always had pins in them. But this time, there was no fucking patch. There was a damn Ray sticker instead of a patch. So I got a patch for like my first 10 Smuggler's Bounties, but no patch in the new ones. But what I did get was 2 more of the Smuggler's Bounty exclusive pops, which is awesome because you got the Ventures of Kajimi, where they go to that planet in Rise of Skywalker. You get C-3PO carrying the bowcaster with the bag, so he's got all of Chewie's gear on him. So I got another version of C-3POs that's really cool looking. And then for me, the most important part, who they went to Kajimi to go see, motherfucking Babu Freak. My new favorite Star Wars character, the universe's greatest droid smith, and the little tiny dude that reset C-3PO's brain so that they could find the Sith homeworld and win the day. Everything went well because Babu Freaks is an awesome little engineer, and I love this dude. That's what I've been getting into.
Fancy. Babu Freak indeed.
He's
go
a
next.
Babu Freak.
I don't have a ton of stuff I've been getting into, but just finished a rewatch of a dumb cartoon from Comedy Central that I loved back in the mid 2000s. Watched 3 seasons of. Oh, what do you think it is, Willie?
Drawn Together.
Drawn Together. It is. In fact,
I thought I was gonna be wrong too.
it was in fact Drawn Together. I love that show, and you can tell that a lot of the voice actors are having a ton of fun with it because, especially Tara Strong, you don't generally hear her in the adult kind of cartoons. You think of her as like the voice of Raven and all of these other great cartoon characters that she's been. And then she's Toot Brownstein and racist Princess Clara, and it's hilarious. And you can tell they're just having fun with the fact that they're playing everything outside of the normal tropes. And I had it, the first season was on sale on iTunes, so I bought it there. And then I used my week-long trial to the Comedy Central streaming service to rewatch the final 2 seasons. And it's dumb and hilarious, but some of the jokes really hold up. And it was hilarious because these were out like 2005 through 2007. They were taking Bill Cosby shots back then too, and everyone tends to forget about it. It was pretty great. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
Some writers were ahead of the curve.
That is true. I've been watching more trailers for Star Trek Picard, and I really want to watch it. And it debuts this week on CBS All Access. The only problem is I'm really getting tired of all these streaming services, but it looks really good. So I did find that they do have a promo code that'll give you a month-long free trial. So I will probably sign up for a month, which will then carry over until this season is done before I shut down my access to it. It's similar to what I did with my Sling TV subscription. Once the NFL regular season was over, I canceled it because I no longer needed NFL Red Zone. I'll probably do the same with CBS All Access because Star Trek Picard looks really good. I read the first 2 comics in the comic prequel to Star Trek Picard, and I believe the final one comes out tomorrow, and it must be double sized because it's a freaking $5 comic book from IDW. So I'm curious to see what all is going to happen. It's fascinating to me just to see all these characters from the next gen be returning and see what happens with it. So that's really what I'm getting into, is played some Star Trek Picard, dicked around on the internet some, played some video games here and there, but really I'm just trying to figure out whether I should spend money, and I'll probably spend 2 months worth of CBS All Access. And they already renewed it for season 2, so I'll have to do it a year from now too. First world problems. But that's what I've been getting
only
into.
if you like the show, I hope.
That's true. It looks like it should be good, and I really like Patrick Stewart and pretty much anything he does. So I'm relatively optimistic. We'll see, though. I'll let you guys know next week because my wife also expressed interest in seeing it. So it comes out on Thursdays. We will probably watch it Friday after work because Thursday night is Starling Tribune night where we record and talking about the TV show Arrow with 2 episodes left. That being said, it was also the wrap-up of Crisis on Infinite Earths this week. So if you want to hear the Starling Tribune's thoughts on that, you can download the audio version of the podcast or catch the video over at the YouTube Gonna Geek channel. Crisis was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yes, it was.
They have reset everything in a way that's very interesting. Since it doesn't matter, we can go spoiler-filled on this one. They basically consolidated all of these CW TV shows to what they're calling Earth Prime and merged the worlds. It's very interesting. And because Lex Luthor is a scumbag, always comes out on top, he has turned himself into not a good guy, but the best guy who just got a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yep.
It's pretty delightful.
That, and they also showed last night on Batwoman and Supergirl that the reemergence of the Earth Prime wasn't exactly crystal clean.
Yes.
They maybe made some mistakes, and there might be some stuff they still have to deal with.
And Oliver Queen is still very, very dead.
Yes.
Very dead. And I said this on Starling Tribune. I'll echo it here. It kind of annoys me a little bit that instead of the next episode of Arrow getting more into the fallout of Oliver Queen's death, it's the backdoor pilot for Green Arrow and the Canaries set in Star City 2040 next week. So we don't even get more on Oliver after he, killed himself to save the multiverse.
Yeah.
That's kind of annoying. But that's neither here nor there. That's why I'm getting into Willie. I would say wrap things up for us, but I will instead say finish things up for us. What are you getting into?
So earlier today, I was walking around this store, and I walked into this room, and there was some dude just sitting at a table, and I took a knife and I stabbed him in his throat, and I drank his blood, and I became a god, and I went to go see Yogman. That dude, my God, that guy was awesome. But I also stabbed him in the throat and drank his blood.
So, Willie, are you a god now?
Peasant, I've always been a fucking god, bitch.
Oh, my apologies. I should have known better.
Just know your place. And other than that, just tell you the truth, it feels like yesterday was just Monday. So yeah, this whole week's been blown through some drama, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
It's probably safer that way.
Safer? I don't play it safe.
Oh, we noticed. We've noticed.
Did
But
you
at least this
expect me
way
to
you don't have to worry about a statute of limitations.
I'm sorry, statue I'm tossing on the ground to become a god again?
To then drink blood and become a god.
Exactly.
Well, there was I mean, I was already a god. It was just for fun. There can be only one.
And it's you? You're the Highlander?
I was thinking Jet Li from the movie The One.
I'm you law. I'm nobody's bitch.
And yeah, and you forget that Jason Statham's in there, don't you? You don't even know the movie we're talking about, do you,
I've
Chris?
seen the movie once years ago. I don't
And his
remember
partner is
very
Elroy
well.
Lindo. I don't forget nothing.
Yeah, no. Do you, are you? So you're saying you only seen the movie one?
I'm still surprised that that's the movie that Jet Li went and did instead of doing The Matrix.
Right.
I mean, I enjoyed both.
Yeah, but he could have got himself a nice, much bigger paycheck if he'd have done The Matrix.
You're not wrong.
Would he have been Neo in the Matrix?
No, he'd have been the guy that Neo fights before he goes to talk to the
Oracle.
The Oracle. Yeah,
The Oracle.
the dude that tests his fighting style
In Matrix 2.
in Matrix 2. That would have been.
Oh.
Yeah, that would have been him.
No, yeah, no, good. Yeah, good on you for doing the one instead. And then you're the main, and then also the main,
I don't
and then
know.
also the main because you're multiple characters at once.
That Matrix money is pretty freaking sweet, though.
Oh, the
Mm.
residuals. You got a point. And Animatrix too.
And they are bringing back the Matrix to some extent now, too. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Came out
Maybe
the
they
same
will.
day as
Allegedly.
Bill and Ted. Oh no, John Wick. I can't remember what is it. There's like two movies of Keanu Reeves come out on the same day.
The Matrix 4 and John Wick 4 are roughly slated to open within like 2 weeks of each other.
So you can have a Keanu marathon day or double feature day at the theater.
That sounds delightful. Keanu Reeves is a delight.
It's true.
I greatly enjoy Keanu.
All the Reeves you can handle.
It's true. That being said, I think it's time for us to start shutting this thing down. What do you guys think?
You're welcome.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Well, before we shut down, friendly reminder, we normally stream this thing live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. This was an aberration this week, but we'll be back on Sunday, the 26th, I believe it is, at 11 a.m. over at geeks.live, the official streaming home of the Gonna Geek Network. So please come watch us live. Come watch some of those shows on the network live. But before we shut this thing down, you guys have any final thoughts for us?
Dorkle, you will be missed.
But he's a god now.
Yep.
And he will be missed.
He will be missed indeed.
Bye, Dorkle.
R.I.P. Dorkle. You were the best. You were a wizard that didn't use your wizard powers.
You're a wizard, Dorkle!
On that note, we're out of here. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek Radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.